Well, hello, my beautiful ones. How are you, my gorgeous ones? This is going to be your love forecast for August 28th, 2017. I know they're coming out right on the day, but um, if you saw my last reading, I was dealing with a family in Texas. I have a huge family in Texas, so everyone is safe. I know some people wanted an update. Everyone's safe. I mean, there were a couple of my family members whose houses were not doing so well, with the flooding, and um, then there was a couple of lootings, but it was okay. Like, everybody's safe. So I just wanted to let everybody know that my family thanks everyone for sending them their love and their light and their blessings. They were all protected. They were all safe. It's just a hope and calls back and forth, making sure. So thank you so much for being patient with me. That's why they're out today. And then I do have a guest in from out of town. So um, anyway, so we're going to talk today. I'm sorry, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Cindy. I am the modern day spiritual advisor. I use multiple modalities, including tarot, to help you on your path. And now the author of my upcoming book series, Concepts Create Reality. So my gorgeous ones, it works like this. I am going to go into the general energies. I'll be channeling spirit. They want to remind you it is always up to you whether you want to accept and allow these energies or deny them. It's kind of up to you and your path. As to the timeline, it can vary depending on which path you've taken and where you are on that path. So, we're going to talk today about motivation. So what's motivating you? What are the things that are behind what you're trying to create? Because that's what I've been getting with this particular spread. So your first position is the Eight of Cups. Now the Eight of Cups, this is how you'll be sort of feeling and thinking, or maybe centered in this way. The Eight of Cups is someone who has been there's a couple of words I can use. Who has been betrayed, who has lost trust, who has come through something very painful because of that, right? But not just that. It can feel like I thought it was you and me, or it can feel like I thought I could lean on someone or something or some situation, and I found out that I couldn't, right? That's what the Eight of Cups is about. It's about dealing with that, but you see how that person is continuing to walk. So even though you picked up the pieces, or most of the pieces, or some of the pieces, and you kept going, you still have that wound that hasn't been fully healed, right? That's what this is about for you today. So it could be in your businesses. It could, because I'm talking about love, and love is that energy that moves through all frequencies for me. So that could be in your family, in your romantic love, in your friendships, in all kinds, in your businesses, in all of it, in your money, all of it, right? So you'll know because it'll resonate with you. So this is about being, having to move forward and continuing to do the good fight, and I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to continue, like, I got to go to work every day and I got to do this, but I'm still holding this wound. And what happens is we start looking at that wound because we've had to, like, continue to move, and that wound, instead of healing it, because we don't give it the time and look at it and process it, we start making our decisions based on it sometimes, right? So with this, they're saying there is something that's still a wound for you, something that you haven't let go, and that isn't hurting anyone but you on your path. It's keeping you from the things that you're wanting. It's keeping you from the things that are yours. You can't get to that frequency because you have this wound that you haven't healed, right? And I know we all have them. But if you're trying to get clarity, and this is what this is about, we're talking about motivation. If you're trying to get clarity, people ask me all the time from YouTube, how do you clear? What does clearing mean? This is what this means. It means going and looking at those things, coming to an understanding about those things, why that person did that, why that situation came into your life, why, right? When you're understanding that, and then are able to release it. Not like shut it out and let it go, but release it. When you understand that and not be in a contradiction and not have a wound, you will feel better. You will be able to have more energy in your field to be able to receive the things that are here for you, that are here for you to experience. So when this card comes up, their advice is it may be those things that you haven't healed yet, and there is something that you haven't healed yet that you need to go back and look at so that it can be released, right? And this is, in retrograde, the time to do that, because the retrograde is like Mercury retrograde is the time for like the universe to say, let's take a pause and let's really look, so that when we're ready to thrust forward, you'll have all this energetic field open so that you can receive your blessings, right? So in the second card is their advice, the Ace of Swords. So it's almost like they're preparing you for these things that you're coming to, and you don't want to do it the old way where you have some, because when you have this old wound, you don't realize that you start making your decisions based on that old wound, right? And so your motives become something that you didn't really want your motives to be, but they become that because of the perception that you have, because you haven't healed this wound. And so the Ace of Cups is saying, you know, you're going to start something new. The Ace is about new beginnings. It's about the lower mind. It's about being rational. It's about separating the sword. The sword separates the fantasy from the reality, right? And so that's what they're saying. Your advice is to take a rational look at this. Look at, when you go back in, a lot of times we don't want to go see it because it was so painful. But what they're saying is that you've grown from that since you looked at it last time. And maybe if you look at it this time, you'll be able to see it in a better light so that you can let it go. Because what happens is your outcome, the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is all about receiving your gifts, your accolades, your blessings, your money, your contracts, your loved one, the love of your life, your partner, your family, your children if you want to get pregnant. Like, those are all the blessings that are coming in. And they're saying you don't want to be at this space and still have this wound. So we're trying to get you to this space because this space is coming up for you anyway, right? This space I see is already coming up for you. But how, because the Six of Wands is about a leader, right? So what type of leader do you want to be, right? Do you want to be one that people are going to fear and that's why they do it? That's why they follow you? Or do you want to be one that understands, has compassion and empathy because you've been through those things and they follow you for that reason and you receive the blessings for that reason, right? And it's always your choice. These are your paths. It's always your choice. But I have a feeling that they're trying to get you to the space that you're really wanting to be at and not in contradiction. Allowing yourself to be healed from this wound so that you're not carrying it forward with you. Okay? So, I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds. I hope that helps. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to ask a question. I always pull an extra card. Well, not always. I've been forgetting lately. And then I'll turn over the card after 10 seconds and explain it. So here we go. Alrighty. Oh, you got the Hanging Man. So the Hanging Man is about self-sacrifice. The Hanging Man is someone that's put themselves in this position. Because if you look, he's got light on both sides, right? So he can get out of this position at any time. But he's put himself in this position for a lot of different reasons. For some of you, it's because you're waiting for that other person to sort of catch up. For others of you, it's because you're waiting for somebody else to step up to the plate. For others of you, because you're looking at the group and saying, this is the better thing to do. Instead of me hurrying along and making a choice, I'm going to sort of wait and see. And that's what this is about. It's self-sacrifice, though. So if you do this, later on, if it doesn't pan out the way that you wanted to, you can't say, well, that was just a waste of time. No, it wasn't. You chose to do that. You chose to sort of be accepting of the situation and the other person. Okay? That's what the hanging man is to me. So, my gorgeous ones, I hope this helps. Have a beautiful day. I will be getting out the other dailies as well, and then finishing up the solar eclipse. Love you, love you, love you. Bye.